The Bamboo Road Woman, near the Bhutan border. It was late August when I was posted to a rural stretch near the Bhutan border. My government job had me stationed in a quiet town surrounded by dense forest, where village life slowed everything to a crawl and electricity flickered without warning. Wanting to stay connected, especially for gaming, I decided to rent a place in the nearest town and made the 35-kilometer daily commute on my motorcycle. The road leading to my office was smooth and well paved, but eerily desolate. For nearly 20 kilometers, there wasn't a single house in sight, just bamboo groves on either side and the occasional wandering cattle or distant silhouette of a passing car. One afternoon around 3 p.m., I was heading home when I noticed a woman walking along the edge of the road. She looked to be in her early 30s and wore tribal clothing that made her stand out against the monotony of the landscape. Instinctively, I glanced at her as I passed, but when I checked my rearview mirror, just a few moments later, there was nothing behind me. She had completely vanished. Puzzled, I slowed down and pulled over, thinking maybe she had somehow slipped off the road. The terrain offered no real place to hide, just bamboo trees spaced out enough that someone would easily be spotted. After a minute or so of searching and scanning the area, I gave up the curiosity, relieved myself by the roadside, and continued on my way. The rest of the evening passed uneventfully. I gamed for a little bit, ate some dinner, and eventually went to bed around 1 a.m. Then, at exactly 3 a.m., I woke up. It wasn't just grogginess, I was completely paralyzed. The familiar sensation of sleep paralysis gripped me, something I had experienced a few times before, so I knew better than to panic. I closed my eyes, trying to write it out, but this time felt different. Suddenly, I sensed cold arms wrapping around me from behind, an unmistakable chill that seeped into my body. My nerves spiked as fear took over, especially because I had never felt anything remotely physical during past episodes. Fighting the urge to panic, I whispered, "Who's there?" A soft, melodic voice responded, not threatening, but deeply unsettling. "You don't know me. What will you do with my name?" Terrified, I muttered, "Please, leave me alone." Her reply was calm but resolute. "I'm not leaving. I'll be with you forever." "Why?" I asked, trembling. "Because you were looking for me." At some point, I must have passed out. The next morning, I woke up drenched in sweat and burning with fever. Skipping work wasn't a choice, it was survival. I stayed in bed most of the day, physically drained and mentally wrecked. That night, the paralysis returned, and she came back. This time, I didn't react. I remained completely still and began to silently pray, hoping that whatever this presence was would leave me in peace. But she wasn't gone. Her voice crept back into my ears, soft as ever. "Do you not like me? My husband didn't want me, so he killed me. Go to this village and ask them. I'll never leave you now." By morning, I was determined to find answers. I spoke to my attendant at work. His name was Ram, a local familiar with the nearby villages, and I told him everything. He didn't laugh or scoff, instead, he nodded and agreed to help me. Together, we rode to the village she had mentioned. It was quite tiny, no more than about 15 homes, a few scattered fields, and a small tea shop where locals gathered. Ram struck up a conversation with the shopkeeper in their native dialect. The man told him about a woodcutter's wife who had died recently, found hanging in her home. The official report said suicide, but the gossip hinted at something darker. They had been married for 5 years without children, and their relationship was fraught with arguments and tension. Some people suspected the husband had played a role in her death. Ram then took me to a local tantric, one of the few people in that region still respected for his spiritual insight. I poured out everything: the woman on the road, the sleep paralysis, the voice, the details she shared. He listened carefully, then warned me that I had stumbled into something dangerous. Spirits who die under traumatic circumstances, he explained, often wander in a state of confusion and danger, latching onto anyone who crosses their path. He performed a cleansing ritual and handed me a small packet of ashes. Spread this at your door and beside your bed, he said, and do not touch it for 7 nights. I followed his instructions exactly, and that was the last time that she visited me.